Hello everybody and welcome back to the Sunday Swing Quest. We've got Springer 6 this week, entered through Instagram, and every week one of you lucky followers actually wins a free lesson on YouTube. It's posted every single Sunday, so follow me on all social media platforms to have your chance to enter. So this week we've got Springer 6. We mentioned him before. He's struggling with a slice. So if you guys at home are actually a person who struggles with a slice, this video is really going to help you. I'm going to start by talking about his grip, a very weak grip to start with. So I'm going to talk about how we hold the club, and hopefully start to talk about how we can influence the direction of the club, and hopefully start talking about the face and path relationship so we can start to neutral that curvature. Let's get straight into it. Don't forget, if you want your chance to win on the Sunday Swing Quest, all you've got to do is follow me on all social media platforms. The information to enter goes up every single Monday, and then throughout the week, all you guys enter. All you have to do is comment down 3 guys down below, make sure you're a follower or subscriber to me on YouTube, Instagram and Twitter, and I pick you on a Friday, we do the video, and it's posted every single Sunday. So let's firstly start by talking about how a slice is caused. So that's going to be firstly establish our ball to target line. We're going to do that with our red line here. Now, a slice is caused by a path that is travelling from out to in and a face that is pointing to the right of our path and the right of our ball to target line. So our path now, so the direction the club is travelling, is represented by the blue. And that is going to be somewhat to the left of target. Now, our face will be pointing to the right of the blue and to the right of the red line. And this will cause the ball to start left of target and finish way right of target. So the definition of a slice is a ball that starts way left of target and finishes to the right. Now, Springer 6, we said that he has got a path that's travelling somewhat to the left, so down our blue line, and he's got a face that is open to his path and open to his ball to target line, causing the slice curvature, and ultimately causing kind of a few other issues. Sometimes he might hit pull shots, but ultimately his face troubles come from his grip. Now, whenever we've got someone that slices the golf ball, we really need to just kind of neutralise that curvature. So ultimately, Springer 6, we want to just get you pulling the golf ball to begin with. So matching the face and matching the path. And we're going to talk about that by simply how we can start to take our grip. So then once we've talked about that, we can talk about the kind of a second lesson, which is how we're going to start to influence the face and the path relationship to being not to the left, but somewhat to the right a little bit, and hopefully flip those impact factors on its head. So, like we mentioned, the face is to the right of the path and the right of the ball to target line. And this is simply to do with majority of the time with Springer 6's grip. So if we take the grip now, we'll notice that he's got a grip that is actually very, very weak with the left hand, and actually quite a neutral right hand. So the crease between the thumb and the forefinger on the right hand points into the right shoulder. But if we use this arrow here, we'll notice from my point of view that this arrow is pointing right into the middle of my chest. Now, this would be classified as a weak grip. So anytime we've got a weak grip, this face is more likely to be open at impact. So what we're going to do here is, I want you to draw a line on your glove. Grab an old glove and make this glove can actually be used in play, or majority of the time you could just use this in practice. Draw a line right in the position between the thumb and the forefinger. What I want you to do is place the hands on the club. So we're going to put the club in the fingers first, and I would suggest by doing this by holding it up into the air, placing it down to the ground, and making sure now, this will feel really quite strong to begin with, but our red line now points into my right shoulder. That red line pointing into the right shoulder will show 2.5 knuckles roughly on my left hand, and then we want to do the same thing, get the crease between my thumb and my forefinger pointing into my right shoulder. So I've got a really nice blend, and this blend will feel very strong to begin with, but what we're going to try and do is, this is going to hopefully allow us to match the face and the path. So by strengthening the grip, it's hopefully going to be relatively square to our path. So ultimately ending up with those pull shots. I know it's not the ideal scenario at the minute, but that is exactly what we want to achieve. We want to achieve a position where we neutralise that curvature. Once we neutralise that curvature, we're going to feel a lot more confident out on the golf course. And then we can start to move that face and path relationship towards target. So more towards the red line. But if we tried to do both at the same time, ultimately sometimes I think it gets a little bit complicated. So let's strengthen the face by ultimately getting a little bit of a stronger grip relative to you. Crease between the thumb and my forefinger into the right shoulder, and you can see that there with the red line, and the crease between the thumb and my forefinger on my right hand pointing into my right shoulder. And then we would hit quite a few shots of that, and if we're coming down for actual lesson with me, we'd probably do that in lesson 1. We'd really start to improve the hold of the golf club, because it's going to feel a little bit strange in your hands to begin with, because it's a totally different grip. So we're going to hit a shot now. We're going to put our hand on the club, fingers on, crease and the red line pointing into my right shoulder, place the right hand on. So what we're going to do here is we're going to imagine now we're achieving this pull shot, so no curvature, a ball that starts to left the target and stays there. There's our pull shot. So we know if we're creating a consistent pull shot, our face and our path are closely matching. Let's now talk about how we can start to move that relationship a little bit closer towards our ball to target line. So we're going to imagine now we had that first lesson, we've neutralised that curvature like we said. So now we've got our blue line, which is still the same, but our face is now pointing straight down that blue line, not right of the blue and right of the red. So we know we've got a relationship now that's both the same and we've got no curvature, we've got that pull shot. How can we now hopefully shuffle that curvature or shuffle that path closer towards our ball to target line? So we want to now think about how we can actually influence a path that now feels this way, with a face that's just left of the blue but right of the red, and that would help us cause an actual draw curvature. So ultimately the absolute opposite, well the opposite would be a hook, but the opposite in terms of someone that slices it, which is a really nice place to be. So what we want to do is, you're going to need 3 golf balls. This is a really nice simple way of actually how we can start to train and feel like our path is more in to out and not out to in. Really nice and simple. We'll leave that middle golf ball there. And I actually want you to, if you've got some alignment sticks, establish a ball to target line with the red, and that blue line is what we're going to be imagining we're going to swing down. But what we're going to do to influence that, we need 3 golf balls. We're going to place one just outside the middle ball, then the other just inside. So what we're going to do, that really nice and simple to set that up, club head inside, club head forward, club head outside, club head backwards. And this is going to help us form a nice little gate to really encourage us to swing up that blue, not down that blue this way. And it's a really nice simple way of just how we can start to train the opposite curvature. And what I would say is, I would be really kind of an advocate of someone that, right, okay, we've got our strong grip now. We really need to trust the fact that if we swing to the right, we then can trust the fact that we can release it now. And that's, people that slice it are very reluctant to release the golf club. And what I mean by that is having somewhat of this motion through the swing. Now, why I say you want some of this, notorious people that slice it, we see this motion across the golf ball. So we're going to feel now, while we swing through the golf balls up the blue, we need to add somewhat of this feeling. So I did this one-handed, somewhat of this feeling. So my palm's going to point towards the camera, not going to drag across the body. Left palm towards camera, not across the body. And the reason I say this, like I say, it's an over-exaggerated feeling, but it's going to help you learn and trust the fact that that path's going to go up the right. So we've got our scenario here. We've had our first lesson. We've neutralised that curvature. We've got our straight pull shot. Let's now try and create an into-out path and that draw curvature. So club it inside, club it in front, club head outside, club head behind. Address the golf ball, mirroring up our red line, our alignment, and we're really going to have a few waggles. Once we're taking our nice stronger grip, up that blue. Few waggles. And it's going to feel strange to begin with, so we might lose a few to the right, but really start to trust it and really move that relationship of a straight pull now into a really nice draw. And like I said, this will be something that potentially will be done over a few weeks and a few course of lessons, but we want to help give Springer 6 an actual thing that we can go, okay, this is the first stage, this is the second stage. Right, let's go ahead and hit it. Up the blue. There we go. There's a nice draw. Okay, we can do it through the gate. Now we're going to lose a golf ball. We're going to do it with the inside golf ball. So we've got this one still on our outside, so we can't come across it. So it's going to get harder and harder. We've not got less kind of obstacles to avoid here as we go through this. Second shot, we're going to really feel the same. Up the blue. Again, a really nice draw shot. Right, and the final one, almost like our shot on the course there, so you're taking it from a kind of controlled environment to a less controlled, to finally mirroring a shot on the golf course. So final one here. Still reminding ourselves that we've got our stronger grip, not weak, and trying to influence that path now, not out to in, but into out. Up the blue. Just like that. Now for me, that felt like quite over-exaggerated. I'm someone that likes to fade it, so it was really hard for me to feel like I'm going to swing up that blue. Important points to note are, one, that we're going to make sure we've got that stronger grip to begin with, one, that we've gone from a weak slicer's grip to now we've got a grip that's a little bit stronger, and this red line pointing into my right shoulder. And then we're going to start to influence the club path. Neutralize curvature, start to influence club path to start to get away from that pull shot and get a shot that's flying more straight towards target, potentially with a bit of draw curvature. So there we go, there we go, there we have it. This week's Sunday swing quest is complete. We started with someone that sliced it, and now Springer 6 has got the means to neutralise that curvature, point number one, with his grip, and secondly start to influence his club path with a nice 3-ball drill. So really simply, we started with someone that had a weak grip, and a weak grip in terms of causing that club face alignment to be open to his path and open to his ball to target line, causing those glancing shots and those big slicers. We then finished by saying, right, okay, we're going to imagine we're a couple of weeks down the line, and this is where we're going to start to influence his club path. And we did that by setting up some obstacles and trying to avoid them ultimately in a really nice simple way that we can start to influence club face and club path and start to maintain a good relationship, not a good relationship in terms of a slice one, but a good one in terms of working to something that's a little bit of a stronger flight and closer towards that desired draw. Thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget, if you want to win next Sunday's Swing Quest, follow all my Instagram, Twitter and YouTube to have a chance to win. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe, and see you next time.